I thought my primer was going to be high build enough to fill some of these pits, these pinholes from the rust. I was wrong. And I had a nice big indentation right here that I just couldn't seem to pound out. So it's smooth on the inside up under the wheel well where you're going to see it, but I just thought I'd give it a skim coat out here. This right here, this is all rough. Rough meaning something got into it once. Okay, I didn't realize that because it goes clear down in here. If you remember right here is where I fixed the cracks and whatnot. This area right here. But once you get down past where it was cracked, something's been into it. Get primer on it, started scuffing it, I could see it real plain. The importance of a guide coat, guys, when you're doing this. You see everybody doing it. Everybody does it. You can't skip that step. All the pinholes down here, I had to put a skim coat on. Up here too. This area right here. Okay, on the car, this is the rear passenger side fender. Okay, the body actually covers up to here, but on a car of this vintage and magnitude, I guess you say, I want it looking right, the whole thing. Okay, so I'm doing everything all the way over to the edge. I'll do the inside as well, because the inside is going to be seen in that area. It is an A surface. Clear over to here is going to be covered from this point, and then the body comes down and around, meets right about here. Comes down and meets right about here, and this is where the trunk ledge is. The trunk actually sits on a ledge that comes in and meets this. There's a black piece of trim that comes down here and covers all this, but I want it to look good up to that, and even on the inside of it, because I had to. This whole thing was laid in. The whole flange was folded under, so I had to pound that back out, hammer and dolly it. I got a skim coat on it. It looked good when I primed it, but I had some pinholes and a little bit of wave right here, so it's got to be right. It's got to be right. I got to come back up in here, touch up a little bit. I still got a little filler to sand. Like I said, this first coat of primer, I was basically using it for a guide coat. I sent Jeff over there at James Freddy's Muscle Cars and Hot Rods a email telling him he was right. Hammer and dolly work on a panel that's been rusted and everything. It's tough to do, even if you try to remove all the rust that you can and take the wire wheel to it and all that. It's tough. I'll show you a spot that I repaired though. Right down here. This is the lowest bolt hole on the fender, and it actually meets up with the body. It was gone. It came up here and down this way. It was pretty well gone. I used the measurements off the other one, took some steel and just grafted that in there. I don't think it looks too awful bad for an amateur. I don't have any real supports or stands or anything, so I'm using an old bar stool and my workbench. Okay. Something's up with my air compressor, so I'm using my electric hand sander, hand orbital sander. It's a Drill Master. It's a $10 sander, but you know what? I've had it for 15 years and I've used it on quite a few projects. So this right here bugs me. There's going to be filler there, and there's a lip there, and because on the inside it's smooth. So I don't know if the rust has gotten to it to the point that I feel indentations or what, but I'll show you what I'm using for filler. Got the USC quality lightweight auto body filler, Chromate Light. It's good stuff. I really like it. I like it a whole lot better than this just general lightweight body filler. I do use that on some things, but on this, I went with the Chromate. Just your basic cream hardener. Just about everything uses a benzene-based hardener. And I've been mixing just a little bit of fiberglass resin in with it. A little trick that I got from Mr. Russell over at HPR Auto. I'm also got my 17-inch flatboard. We've all seen these. You can get them everywhere. I've even seen them at a grocery store. Something you guys may not have seen. This little mushroom deal. When I worked at Bud, we used to use these all the time, and I bought a couple of them through there. Yeah, a lot of people just take them home, but I went ahead and they were $4 and something, so I bought a couple, you know. These are nice. They're Velcro, and they have a sponge in the middle. And what that was for, when we were wet sanding the primed hoods and fenders and whatnot, we had the 4-inch disc that would fit that perfect, and it had a hole in the middle. Well, we'd have a spray bottle of water similar to what you'd use for window cleaner, and we'd soak that sponge down, and we could wet sand our areas. It was great. I loved it. Got my body hammers out yet, my file for the spots that I've had to weld. Of course, my angle grinder with the soft pad on it. Here's another thing I like. Another Velcro deal. A little hand pad. Everybody wraps their stuff in blocks and whatnot, you know, pieces of their stir sticks and everything. Another one that I got from Bud, these were like under $3. And again, sorry guys, it's Velcro. It's got the strap. The thing I like about this is got a curved surface like this fender here. I know it's hard to tell on the video, but it lays right to it. And you don't get your finger marks because it's a high density foam, so you don't get your finger grooves in there. I used it quite a bit on this section here, just feathering the edges. It worked really well. I'm gonna hit it with a little primer to see what we get. As far as primer goes, I like the Omni AU. It's a 2K urethane surfacer. For our area up here, it seems to work quite well. The climate we have, and I use a fast hardener. The people that I deal with don't have a whole lot of money, honestly, to soak into primers and all that good stuff, sealers. Well, this is some that I had left over from my project, and I told the owner of this vehicle I want to get this done, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to use that on there. If he wants a different primer, so be it, or if he wants somebody else to do the job, so be it. I called him the other day. He was still pretty positive about it. He was just concerned about the timeline. Take an old rag, and I like to run it over it dry, okay? Because it doesn't fool. I got just a little right there, and I can see the little pinholes right there. Mixing that fiberglass resin in with that gets away from a lot of the pinholes. And I thank HPR Auto for that tip. It's great. I'm learning a lot from you guys, and I thought I knew quite a bit, but man, I'm learning more all the time. But anyway, the dry rag doesn't fool your fingers. Are going to feel a difference between the metal and the polyester, okay? Unless they've been burnt and fried and seared and all that good stuff, and desensitized. So that's what I'm doing there. Alright guys, YouTube sent me a thing saying that I could go just a little over 10 minutes these days. We're going to see. The other videos I decided not to post. They didn't turn out very well. They had skips in them and everything else. So there we are. Let me know what you think. Progress is slow right now. You know, minimum of an 80-hour week, and then like this weekend I had got called in on Saturday.